Hi everyone, Indez here. New patch is coming and with it new difficulty. So let's dive into the new Inferno 4 instance. This is going to be an overview of all the classes, and remember, for you to actually go and get them, you actually are required to be at Inferno 4 difficulty. Once you are at it, you're going to not only get the current new instance but also everything that is in the back. That's how the game works. So let's dive into the first class, which is going to be Wizard. I didn't have a lot of time to actually go in deep dive into them, so we're probably gonna do that right now. So Eye Plucker, we have electrical critical hits with shock enemies are causing them some extra damage. This seems cool. Cycle Stone, Ice Armor now protects you within a miniature blizzard, reducing all the damage that you also take in chilling nearby enemies. Okay, this seems like kind of annoying for PvP, so maybe we have something here, because if you reduce your damage that you're gonna take plus it's gonna chill them, maybe it is gonna be viable for PvP. We have the Immolator's Clouds is gonna be like the new head. Scourge now emits a shock blast around you, damaging and burning nearby enemies. Interesting. A Cursed Arrival Teleport also increases the damage you deal with skills by 20% for 3 seconds. Man, this seems like battle mages. You're gonna teleport and you're gonna go on them and just gonna smack them with a huge burst. This also seems probably pretty good for PvE. You have here 4 Demon Vestment. Frostfield now generate elemental aura around you, triggering additional elemental effects when you are attacking enemies. Okay, this one probably you're gonna have to test this inside the game to see exactly what is this elemental aura. It feels like it's gonna be another AoE type of ability around you. Stalking a Wind. Teleport now blinks you into the location, unleash a vortex that damages and knocks enemies into the air. All right, well, we're gonna have the shoulders and the new pants, so probably like some burst mage, but the reality is like, yeah, unless you're like a whale wizard, you don't want to be teleporting in PvP. But in PvE, I mean, this can be actually interesting to just burst some packs. We have here the other class, Tempest. We have the Deceitful Whispers. Wind Walk cooldown now is reduced by 0.15 seconds each time you deal a critical hit, but this cannot occur more often than 9 times every 10 seconds. Okay, so these are we probably gonna start having like a new meta when it comes to Wind Walk. Wind Walk, for me, it is probably one of the most skillful builds out there for Tempest. It's very annoying to play against a really good Wind Walk Tempest. Fortunately, I actually didn't have the opportunity to try, so maybe next patch we're probably gonna go back to Tempest and test this. Then we have here the new shoulders. Wind Walk now grants you a slicing glaze, making you invisible while also increasing your movement speed and critical hit chance. The bonus critical hit chance persists briefly after your invisibility ends. Wow. Okay, not only you go inside that Wind Walk, very annoying thing, also you're gonna have a movement speed plus a critical hit strike, and whenever you use it, also you're gonna be able to reduce the cooldown. So this actually seems a very good combo. Now we have here the new Memento Onus. Flowing Strike now causes you to dash forward, damaging and stunning enemies in your path, while also causing the Zephyr to attack nearby enemies. If the Flowing Strike lands a critical hit, you conjure an additional Zephyr. Okay, so probably if you gonna dash it through another dash, you're gonna stun the enemies. And if you crit, which probably you are, because you are a Tempest, you're gonna have 2 Zephyrs. Well, this seems an interesting one. Of course, like you're gonna have to is this like the one that's gonna probably, because like right now in PvP we are using the one that you have to go on the target and apply the stun. So now if it's like a dash, it's gonna be easier to probably hit the targets, and it's like not only one, but it's like multiple targets. So probably we have something here for PvP. Definitely Tempest, it is still very strong, but the reality is like is not as strong as it used to be. So maybe like this is gonna make it a bit more powerful. Cruel Impetus. Flowing Strike now grants you a way off the water for 3 seconds, increasing the damage of your next skills by 30%. So it's gonna be like the next skill, but does Tempest actually has like something like Ota? Because like imagine like Tempest with the Ota build improving like 30% and then you just hammer them, will be very powerful. But still, 30%, it is a huge boost when it comes to the damage. I don't know if they're gonna use this or not. Fang, those wind edge critical hit strikes also shatter the enemy's armor, increase all the critical hit damage they take by 18% for 2 seconds. Man, this seems very, very strong for Tempest. I mean, like armor break on your main hand, especially because you always use wind edge whenever you are attacking, most of the times in PvE. But remember that we still have like the throwing bananas, so probably this is gonna be a new build when it comes to it. And I don't know if like whenever you are sending the bananas, you are also using a primary attack. I'm not sure about that. Sunken Abyss, Zephyr Surge now causes you to tumble away from the target as you throw multiple blades at them and other nearby enemies. When a blade lands a critical hit strike, it will shatter in two, striking the enemy again. So it's pretty much like a dash away, right? That you keep hitting. Zephyr Surge is like seems like one of those skills like it's not very used. I don't know if this is gonna make it viable or not. Well, I'm always happy whenever they try something new for the class, to just like pretty much take it a bit away from the current meta, right? Now we have Blood Knight, the Braces of Fangs. The new head, Mephitic Cloud, now engulfs a single target in toxin fumes, causing them to take an increased continual damage. The toxic fumes also explode, dealing damage to nearby enemies whenever the effect expires or the target dies. Okay, this seems like super overpowered for the open world farming or like PvE in general, so I really like it. I also use I think I'm using like this ability to come with me, but I think like the head on Blood Knight is the one that makes the whole cloud coming with you. I have to go and confirm, but you know, if you're a Blood Knight, you guys can actually leave in the comments all the and anyone that you know you have more knowledge than me when it comes to this class. I am a barbarian, so I try to go and dip down my toe here and there, but at the end of the day, the one that I got more knowledge is definitely Barbarian. So, Boddington Fang, Swarm of Bats now sends a carrier bat into a single target that then chains two nearby enemies, dealing damage and spreading non-control related harmful effects from the first enemy to the others. Okay, this seems kind of good for PvP. Like if you're gonna chain them together, probably you can have like something very annoying happening here. So very interesting one. Marked Spawn, Tendrils of Blood now brands the enemies with the Hunter's Mark, causing all marked enemies to take damage whenever other marked enemy takes damage from the continuing effect damage. Okay, I never used like a Tendrils Blood. I know that there is a new Infinite Dash build, but I think they use the chess piece to actually make the Infinite Dash build viable. I just changed to Blood Knight, so I'll have to explore. Blood Knight was my first class, but it's been a while since I played. But Mephitic Cloud also increases the damage you deal to the inflicted targets by 12%. Okay, we have another, so probably like the meta will start shifting to a Mephitic Cloud when it comes like to PvE, I guess. We have here Split Sun, Tendrils of Blood also applies Curse of Blood to enemies for 3 seconds. Curse of Blood erupts, dealing 26,000 damage to all nearby enemies when expired, increasing 20% each time the inflicted target takes damage while a curse, up to a 20%. Okay, this seems quite strong, to be honest. Especially maybe can be an upgrade for the Infinite Dash build. But to be honest, like one of the things, it's like Blood Knight in general, it has the same issue as Monk. It's like it doesn't have a lot of immunity to CC, and that becomes a problem. I know that they have like the Blood Surf Wave, and I don't remember the name, but it is the only kind of immunity that you have. But the reality is like the meta is shifting to some other place, so maybe having some answers that will bring, even if it's like immunity to knockbacks or something, it will definitely make it Blood Knight a bit better for free to play and low spenders. Winged Anointment we have here Ravage critical hit chance is increased by 8% against enemies suffer from continual damage effect. So I know that Ravage is being used a lot now. So a free critical hit chance increase boost seems very, very good. So Blood Knight, it has a potential. I kind of like it. We have here the Necromancer one. The Steward Guidance. Command Skeletons now summons untargetable spectral warriors that will order to rush to a location and explode, dealing damage and fearing the enemies. Additionally, the new spectral warriors will sacrifice themselves, exploding on enemies that are feared. Okay, so it's like now you don't have to go with your rate form to actually fear. Like for me, fear when it comes to Necromancer is literally the most annoying thing, right? So minions I never saw as something like very viable when it comes to PvP, but maybe in the future they are probably gonna start pushing it a bit more. We have here Cutthroat Arch. We have Skeleton Mage. Attacks siphon the power from their targets. Increase your critical hit chance by 2, stacking up to 12%. Okay, this is probably some PvE stuff. Draw a Deep, the new chest piece. Bone Armor now passively absorbs the souls of enemies you slay, generating a shield that absorbs damage and grows strength with each kill. Additionally, Bone Armor can be activated instantly, grants you a shield at 50% of the maximum power. Jesus Christ, are we gonna start having like some tank mancers? Bone Armor also instantly heals you by 25% of the absorbed value of shield. Jesus Christ, literally. Okay, someone make a tank mancer. They already have like the new, but I think like it's the new pants they give like that new debuff, right? That makes like the targets deal less damage. So, Tank Mancer may be it. Wilton Bloom Command Golem now encases you within the Golem, empower you, making you immune to knockback, while also increasing your movement speed and reducing all the damage you take. Additionally, you will gain several new abilities. Okay, so is this gonna be like the new abomination kind of thing? So, are we gonna become a golem? Okay, I gotta try this. Okay, this seems super exciting. In general, most of the times it doesn't like the same as the abomination. Like it is cool, but it never worked like really well with Blood Knight. But maybe we got here something. It will be super cool to have like a massive golem like in the middle of the battleground, right? Like smashing everyone in the idol. So I'm curious about this one. We have Scattered Light. Skeleton Mage now summons untargetable a spectral mage that casts Hungering Soulfire at enemies after being struck by a total of loss of control effect. A spectral mage can sacrifice itself to remove the effect. Additionally, a spectral mage will be summoned passively while you are in combat. Oh my god. All right, this seems really cool. So you're gonna have like this passive ability that's gonna keep creating these mages around you that they just gonna attack. But I really don't care about that. What I care is like you are just pretty much gonna be almost immune to loss of control, which is like being CC, right? The crowd control. This seems really cool. I will have to see and check it out. What is like the the cooldown of this ability, but seems very cool. I can see Necromancer starting to become a bit more meta. They are already like doing pretty well, like not at top of the top, but like they do pretty well. So very interesting stuff right here. Of course, we have now Crusader. We have the Scourge Smile. Sacred Chains also reduce damage that you take by 4 for each inflicted enemy, up to 20%. Okay, so this makes me happy because I feel like they keep giving like more damage to Crusader, but I feel like they have to make it more tanky. That's the whole problem when it comes to Crusader. So I really like this. Now we have here the shoulders, Iron Bone Vow. Sacred Chains now becomes an Aura of Martyr, chaining all enemies within the area around you directly to you. Chain enemies are continuous pull towards you, and when you deal damage to one chain enemy, all the other chain enemies will take additional damage. Okay, so oh my god, this seems like these two, the head and the shoulders, they seem really cool for the idol. Like, we need to start making Crusader a bit stronger on the idol. Right now, it just gets like completely blown away by pretty much anything that goes, any barbarian that goes to the idol is gonna smack this Crusader. So I'm really excited about this. To be honest, I just want them to make Crusader a bit more tanky, and I think most Crusaders, they also want that. Then we have here Excruciated Flock. Condemn now grants you Reprisal, reducing the damage you take. Upon expiration reprisal, it will explode, damaging and knocking back enemies. The explosion radius and damage are increased by each primary attack you receive while the reprisal is activated. Okay, so you're gonna be able to chain them, and you're gonna be able to knock them back. And also, both of these instances, they give you damage reduction. All right, now this is what we're talking about. Conjurer of Light also causes you to emit radiate explosions when you're attacked, dealing 7k damage of nearby enemies, but this cannot occur more than 0.5 seconds. Okay, this literally reminds me of like a Bark Breaker in a way, but it is only while you have your bubble. So I'm not sure about this one. We have to test it out. Altered Siege. Falling Sword now causes you to launch into the heavens, slamming your sword down into the target location, damaging and taunting all the enemies within the area, while also causing them to reduce damage. Okay, so they are like literally going all in on this damage reduction and reduce damage. Happy days. Condemn critical hit chance increased by 10%. Okay, this seems like very, very promising. I feel like Tankmancer. Now we have the Tank Crusader. I am excited. I am really excited for these classes. Demon Hunter. This one, I will tell you, I read this and all I could think was Vayne from League of Legends. You will see why. Sinful Masquerade. Escape cooldown is now reduced by 0.1 seconds each time you hit the enemy with a primary attack. So you're going to be able to escape way more often as long as you keep hitting the target. Agony Spectre. Escape now causes you to roll a short distance, empowering you while allowing your primary attack to shoot twice at once. So if you play League of Legends, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there is like this tumble. So you roll to the front, or you roll to the side or to the back, whatever you want to roll, and the next target you're gonna and you're gonna do a lot of damage. So very, very exciting when it comes to these whole 6 instances. They feel like they gonna fit with each other like a glove. Look at this. Brutal Temperance. Vengeance now causes your primary attacks to also fire piercing rounds for a short while. So we all have to see what this does, but look at here. Victim Rancor. Vengeance also increase your critical hit chance by 8% for 2 seconds. What I'm wondering is, like, is this like hit percent probably gonna be more when it comes to the Mastery 4 whenever you equip it? But even if it's like 8%, 8% is okay. Maybe you can skip it. But if it's like 19%, like we have on Barbarian on the helmet, will be extremely good. Twisted Weird. This multi-shot now causes your primary attacks to also shoot explosive shells for a short while. So not only you're gonna have your vengeance making you cause like these fire piercing rounds, but also you're gonna have like a freaking shotgun. So you're gonna tumble, and then you're gonna oh my god, it's gonna be so freaking cool, man. I don't know exactly how this is gonna work out, but in my head it's looking very, very good. Crossbow shot damage is increased by 20% for the next 4 shots within 3 seconds after using a skill. So you see what is gonna happen. You're gonna tumble, you're gonna get this empowering boost from this. You're gonna have vengeance because you're gonna vengeance and tumble to the front, like escape, and then you're gonna have all these things getting triggered, you know, multi-shot, vengeance, and then you just dash to the front, and then your primary attack is gonna do like a big blast. That seems super cool. The only thing I feel like it was missing, for example, on these explosive shells, I think they should add a bit of like knockback to it, like a shotgun, you know, like you hit them and they go, you know, a bit to the back. But if the escape cooldown keeps being like extremely short, because look at here, every time you hit you're gonna have 0.1 seconds reduced. That's gonna be wild. I am really excited for Demon Hunter. I feel that whenever we have Demon Hunter a bit more into the meta, it just makes like the diversity of classes way better. The reality is like right now you have wizards, you have Tempest, and you have barbarians. All these classes are a pain in the ass for Demon Hunter. That's why they kind of fallen short into the meta. Now we have here Monk, Alloyed Pat. When Exploding Palms hits a petrified enemy, it triggers an explosion of stun, dealing damage around. Okay. So probably we're gonna have here something that's gonna petrify, right? Imprisonment Feast now damage all nearby enemies, petrifying and stunning them. Okay, so I think like this is the first time we have on the game like a stone effect. So this can be curious to see how Monk is gonna start petrifying people. Then we have here Soiled Feast. 7-sided strikes also triggers Exploding Palm without consuming it, but the explosions deal 30% reduced damage and can only be triggered 3 times per cast. Alright, doesn't seem like very exciting. Either way, Exploding Palm can now stack up to 10 times if the enemies are struck by multiple attacks at the same time. Increase the explosion damage dealt by X amount. Okay, upon Hope Against Hope, 7-side strikes now rain 7 giant fists from the sky, dealing damage whenever they crush them. Okay. Exploding Palm now causes you to be untargetable as you continue and teleport through enemies striking them. So we're gonna have here some immunity when it comes like to the Exploding Palm, and then so I think like what they are trying to do, maybe Exploding Palm with the head and maybe the imprisonment. I don't know. It seems like a bit weird. Maybe I'm not seeing probably like these removing the meta out of like the helicopter. The helicopter monk, it is still very powerful, but nothing like the old school monks to go and try to explore a bit more these builds. Anything that comes like with new abilities, for example like this stun, can be something very exciting. I know that like last patch the Inferno 3 answers, they look very promising, but then they didn't convert very well, so hopefully these ones can have something exciting for the monks. We have here, last but not the least, we have the Barbarian, and this I was already exploring. I already made new builds with it but I'm gonna show you not only on the stream but also later on. So the new answers we have here: Shard Breaker. Cleave now causes you to dash forward, cleaving through all the enemies within your path. This may not be exciting, but I'm gonna actually just skip here to the shoulders, because this new cleave or any other cleave, but this one, especially with the Dread Desecration, cleave can also be used while suffering loss of control or knockback effect, making you immune for 0.5 seconds. Holy moly! We finally got some immunity to TCC and an immunity break. So, if you guys don't know, that's pretty much what makes Tempest really OP, man. So now we actually can have a way to, if you get stunned, you can get rid of that stun like instantly. Jesus Christ, this made me so freaking excited whenever I saw this combo. I still have to see if we're gonna use the Shard Breaker or other cleaves that may be a bit more promising, but I really like the animation on these. You just like start like cleaving and dashing through. Very cool. Now we have here the new offhand, Burden of Nothingness. Demoralize also grants you a demoralizing aura for 1 second, reducing the damage of all nearby enemies by 10%. We have I feel like when it comes to the offhand, we have a lot, like the competition is a lot, right? We have Falling Thunder, we have Burning Breaker, we have all these things. So I don't see this really going into the meta. Also 1 second, unless this with like Mastery 4 or something gets improved, but I don't know. Terror and Burden. Demoralize now sends you into a blinding rage that lists your pain, reducing the damage you take while you are remotely assaulting nearby enemies. So pretty much whenever you use the demoralizing, you just go like, you just start attacking everything around you. It looks pretty cool. The damage is not like the most exciting, and I kind of wanted to see exactly how much reduced damage it gives us. because again, the head slot, it is for the Spartask, or it is for the critical hit chance, so it is very pop, or even like immunity to CC from the Heartless Terror, right? But now we got some like the shoulders probably is gonna kind of remove that one, so we will have to test it out. And then we have the chest piece and the shoulders, which are gonna be focused on the Furious Charge. So the Furious Charge shatters enemies' armor, increasing the amount of damage that they take by 10% for 3 seconds. And the other one, it is here, now causes you to dash to the targeted enemy, damaging all the enemies while also stunning them. So Furious Charge, they are trying to put it inside the meta. We'll have to go and test it out. I really like Furious Charge, and if you put Furious Charge with for example the clip, you just have like 2 dashes. I was trying to play with it. It's just like some things, even though you're trying to test it out on the testing server, like sometimes you just gotta make the build and go and test it out inside the battlegrounds. So this is pretty much it. This is all the nuances of Inferno 4. I got me really excited. I hope you guys are also excited. So with this, don't forget, we are still trying to catch up on the Diablo Immortal number of subs. So with this, if you're still here, remember, you are the legends that keep carrying this channel. So type cheese in the comments so I know that you guys reached to the end of the video. And with this, thank you for watching. Catch you guys next one. Peace.